You just straight up murdered somebody to take their power. Last time I checked, that's not exactly a heroic thing to do. Last time I checked, if someone kills another hero to take their power, that's not a hero. That's a fucking villain. And everyone's happy about this? What? Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Fonrath, once again. We're here to watch episode 7 of Hero X. Previously on To Be Hero X, we had 2 episodes of this other guy, this other protagonist. I don't know if, I assume they're going to maybe meet up at some point, our 2 protagonists that we have, that we've had so far, Ling Ling and Young Chung or whatever. I assume they're going to meet up at some point. I also noticed that the last 2 episodes took place in the past, I believe. I assume we are going to continue on this protagonist, this Young Chung guy, the new E-Soul or whatever the fuck. Mainly because we kind of left off on their friend, quote-unquote friend, getting shot. But then again, we left off on, Ling Ling with Moon getting shot in front of him, so maybe they're going to, maybe they kind of like did that on purpose, where they leave the situation off on, someone they know dying, or getting shot at least. But I guess we'll see. I guess we shall see.
We dedicate our lives to the pursuit of justice.
Do we?
But too often, we find the heavy hand of fate tipping its scales.
Okay, well, my theory about that guy being the big old mastermind and having everything planned out kind of didn't work. Unless he also faked his death, which maybe, but, at this point it's kind of unlikely.
This righteous young man, my son, paid that toll with his life. There is nothing fair about this disaster, and I refuse to accept it. Fate has attacked the wrong family. If it wants to fight, I'll fight. No one will forget this even for a moment. Not until justice has been served.
Justice. I am justice. He wants revenge. Revenge is not the E-Soul way.
If you feel at all responsible for his death, then avenge him. Don't waste time begging for my forgiveness.
Okay, we have a pretty good idea of who is responsible for this guy's death. It's gotta be someone connected, either the manager guy of E-Soul, or someone connected to that guy. Most likely the manager is responsible, but he also has connections to this, the same people who gave, who keep giving people extra power, most likely.
It's not why I'm here. I came to you to ask you for your help. The man who shot him. I think I know who it was. He had a scar on his neck. One that I gave him.
Maybe. But it's too simple. If I was trying to get away with murder, right? Let's say I was hired to kill somebody. I would do my research and I would look at my target. And then I would look at my target's enemies. And if I found out that my target just recently got into a scrap with somebody, I would look at that guy, the guy my target got into a scrap with, and then I would try to make sure that people identify that person as the one who kills my target. In other words, I would try to frame that guy. That's what I would do. Or at least that would be one possibility. Although now, I guess I've given away one of my strategies to kill people. It is what it is, right? But yeah, I mean, I think it would be very simple to just fake a scar, make sure that the scar is still visible under the helmet. Maybe do some other things as well, potentially, like wear the same types of clothing or something like that, and then put a helmet on, so no one can actually see my face, but they identify me via the scar.
The Hero Commission has people for this.
I know the killer. It was one of the kidnappers.
No, you
He's supposed
don't.
to be in jail.
No, you don't. See, now he's assuming things. He saw a scar on the in the same place that he probably gave that guy a scar. So he just assumes that it's someone he knows because, well, it was probably for revenge, right? So he just assumes it's this guy. Mind is clouded with revenge.
I can't trust anyone.
Does that include me?
Sorry. I know you've been worried. I can't stand talk. I've got work to do.
Friend of yours. Were you the real target?
Mr. Shand had me finish up my investigation. The two kidnappers were still in jail. But that's only on paper. There's evidence both of them were released.
Do we know what happened to the agent in charge of their case?
That's been my question for days now. I looked into his whereabouts, and he hasn't made a move in over a week. Either he's hibernating, or he's been killed. Personally, my money is on the latter. It was no small feat to get those two out. Whoever orchestrated this is motivated. And now, if the kidnappers show back up, they'll have the new crime pinned on them. That way, no one will ever suspect the true culprit. The one who masterminded this campaign against them.
Esol is a titan. He's fought crime for 34 years.
He's always been a role model to me. My dream would be to follow his lead and fight for peace.
But the truth is, we can't rely on the big players in this game. So if the scales of justice aren't balanced, I have no choice but to weigh on them myself.
Esol, on the day of your 34th anniversary,
I challenge you to a battle.
the winner takes it all.
I'm not really sure how we got here, to be honest. Not gonna lie. I'm a little bit confused here. I guess he's thinking like that he needs all of Esol's power to fight against this mastermind, whoever was behind the whole thing, or something. Maybe I guess, because I mean I would have thought that he would like not give a shit at all about this Esol business, and he would instead completely start focusing on trying to get justice for his friend, who kind of even wasn't really his friend. He was kind of more like an acquaintance, and so it's kind of like a couple of things, right? One, in my opinion, again, kind of with like Lin Ling and Moon, I don't feel like their relationship was that close, or at least that closeness wasn't portrayed well on screen. So to me, they were barely acquaintances, right? Like the guy that died was basically the guy that he was jealous of, that talked to the girl that he liked. You know, why would you like that guy so much? Sure, he gave him that warehouse that they operate out of, sure, but like they didn't really have any like friendship or anything. They didn't really have any deep friendship or anything. So him wanting justice so hard and getting so depressed, all of a sudden, you know, it's a little bit hard to believe But on the flip side, I suppose it could be also a combination of that plus believing that his death was kind of your fault because the culprit was after you, right? So I suppose like I can understand his depression and his want for justice, but if I think about that, I feel like he would like completely not care anymore about this e-soul business, and he would kind of turn to vigilantism. Is that a word? Vigilantism? You know, like he stops doing his e-soul stuff, and he starts using his power to try to figure out who's responsible and then potentially get revenge on them. Instead of challenging e-soul to a fight and winner takes all. Like, what? I feel like this is just what? Like, huh? Why are we doing that? Like, even that Enlighter guy, I think that was his name. Even he was like, oh, you know, something about the true mastermind behind the kidnapping. And then right after that we go, oh, I challenge e-soul to a duel. It's, what? Don't you mean you're gonna go after the kidnappers instead? Kind of weird, right? Which is why I think that his plan is to potentially get all of e-soul's power first by challenging him and then going after these guys.
Not a chance.
Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense.
Great opportunity. Your supporters would love to see you settle the score with that brat. As long as you win the duel, your trust value will go up by at least 20%. Think, you could get back into the top 10.
I don't do this job for some ranking.
It's not just about the ranking.
It's about my job.
Please, you have to realize what's truly at stake.
All I'm saying is...
Yes, what's truly at stake? My paycheck, my lavish yachts and mansions and Bugattis. I can't afford them if you lose your ranking. That's what's really going on.
What do you think, chat? Could he be the murderer?
Chat. What do you think? Chat, come on. Chat, do you think the guy in prison is a murderer?
The battle of old versus new rages on within the e-soul fan base.
I, for one, am sick of looking at old e-soul's ugly-ass mask. Come on, it's way easier to root for a good-looking guy like that.
Old e-soul is a scam artist. I'm done. He took our money and ditched us. I'm with the new guy.
This is gonna be the most dumbest shit I've ever heard, by the way. Honestly, the best person in this is actually the original e-soul. Like he said, he fights not for some arbitrary ranking. He fights probably because he's a hero. He does it because he feels the need.
That's how the public sees it. It's hurting business. Rise to the occasion. If you run from this, you really will be the old e-soul. Maybe you have a month, maybe a day,
It's not
maybe
even
a
about
minute,
being
but soon
e-soul.
enough, you'll lose e-soul completely.
What I hope is going to happen here, legitimately, right? I hope there's not going to be a fight. A lot of people would probably be like, oh, I want to see the fight between them. I hope there's not going to be a fight. I hope they're going to get to the arena that they're going to fight at, quote-unquote fight, and then e-soul, the original, takes off the mask with a speech, basically, saying that, you know, it's about being a symbol for hope, not some sort of, like, some dumb persona that people throw money into. It's about helping people and being a hero.
They work using counterforce. They take the force from the punch's impact and invert it. Makes the punch twice as strong.
Impressive. But a fancy punching bag can't dodge. How can Young Chung be sure he'll hit him? MG's R&D is worlds above what he's got. Their equipment has higher durability and a perfect defense mode. If they activate that defense, he won't land a punch.
Yes, I will. I have to.
If we play our cards right, we might be able to convince him not to use the defense system. Then you'd have a decent shot.
It's not like Yang Chung has mind control powers.
We don't need them. Lightning Slash is old Grandpa E-Soul's signature move. Using it drops his shield.
That's exactly why he won't. It's too risky. he'll stick to double edge. Lightning
Straight up.
Flash does a lot of damage.
After all of this, I'm hoping he won't even fight. Straight up. That's what I would do. If I was writing this, that's what I would do. I would just have him not fight at all.
But it leaves
Straight
him
up.
completely open. He knows that better than anyone. That's why he hasn't used it. Ever since that fight.
You can still stop this. Isn't there a chance this is all part of their plan? They hurt you, and now you're on edge. What if that's what they want from you?
Who knows?
I'm more and more afraid. I don't want to lose another friend.
Personally, I don't even understand what the plan is.
I already told you. I am gonna hit him.
The fact of the matter is, he's losing his hero points from me, at least. Because a hero wouldn't challenge another hero to, you know, a real hero wouldn't try to take power from another good person to fight against evil. They wouldn't antagonize someone, like, they wouldn't antagonize an ally. Dude, hit the brakes, bro. Have you ever ridden a bicycle before? Jesus. Anyway, as I was saying, someone who's a real hero wouldn't antagonize an ally or a potential ally to gain their powers, or rather take their powers, to then fight their own subject of revenge, I suppose.
I remember the first time I saw you. A little while later, we found out you slipped trying to save a cat. You were our very own dorky hero. And then I saw you become another hero on stage. The roles couldn't be more different, but your conviction stayed the same. You clearly knew what you wanted, and you knew what you were striving for. Tell me, is that same conviction still there?
I know what I'm getting into.
Are you sure it's what you really want?
Yeah.
Have you forgotten what you promised me?
Of course not. But it's more than my wants. People trust me now. It wouldn't be right if I just disappeared on them. If I run away, I'm showing the world that evil wins.
It's not running away!
Touching!
Honestly, he's kind of dumb right now. Not gonna lie, he's being kind of dumb, which is why I'm hoping, again, that they're gonna get to the fight, and then the original Esol is like, yeah, I'm not gonna fight you. Like, I don't use my powers for some sport. You know, I use my powers to help people, not fight someone else who's trying to help people. You know, it's like, what? And then I hope that he maybe, like, lectures him on stage, and then his rating goes down again. And then, once again, he goes and fights, or finds the mastermind or whatever, and has to fight without powers. Or something along those lines. Because I really don't understand what the point is of this fight, to be honest. Like, not in terms of, like, the result, because the idea is that the winner takes all the power, but, like, in terms of the characters being heroes, like, why the fuck are they fighting each other? Like, it's like,
but there's more
kind of dumb.
Their trust value is more important than their gear. Looking at the polls, new E-Souls numbers are starting to overtake old E-Souls. The deciding factor here is how fans of E-Soul respond to each hero's performance.
Well, they did the animation change, which means they're probably going to fight. Who the fuck is this girl? Notice he hasn't done anything yet, and I'm hoping that he doesn't do anything. Oh, goddammit. He attacked back. Fuck. Straight up, I just kind of hoped that he would not, like, he wouldn't attack back at all. I'm still suspicious. I don't know why. And maybe I'm overthinking this. But I'm still suspicious of the guy who died. The supposed friend. Straight up, I'm very suspicious. I don't know why. But it's like a couple of facts point to him being the mastermind. So if I'm straight up going L mode right now, right? If a couple of things were to be different or explained, like faking of death, for one, and potentially some other couple of small things like gifting Young-Chung the warehouse and stuff like that. If a couple of things were to be explained, there might be like a backstory for that kid where he hates Isol for some reason, and he essentially masterminded the whole plot with Young-Chung here for him to take over Isol's power and then potentially defeat him. Like creating your own quote-unquote villain in a way against Isol. But I don't know. It's just a small suspicion. I don't know.
Because your fans are calling for you to use Lightning Slash. If you avoid it now, you're gonna lose trust big time. You'll be at a major disadvantage.
Where exactly is this trend coming from?
Old Isol is so boring.
But I've never seen
Move on, man!
gonna use it in the big
bet
fight.
he can't.
Poor old fool. He's gotta use it now. Win. That's your job.
Or is he the mastermind? Because that makes more sense, actually. Because he was the one who had those thugs, those kidnappers, working on some sort of delivery before that, right? And he also knows that the kid, Young-Chung or whatever, was doing the Isol thing, the play on stage. Yeah, he also knew that he liked the girl and that the girl had a little brother. Maybe. I suppose he is definitely the prime suspect right now. Look at this. Not a single time have I thought to myself, I don't understand what's going on. Well done. This is well done. So far. Maybe there's still a scene where I don't, that's kind of badly done, but like, we'll see. So far. Okay, right there, for instance, maybe a little too fast. I wasn't really following what's going on, but like, most of the time I can understand what's going on, right? You see that?
Quit playing defense! Your fans want to see you fight! Attack! You're losing them!
Come on.
one, Sheng Chao. Hey, so, Sheng Chao after.
I'll never hesitate again!
So what, he hesitated because he didn't like the guy? Right. Oh, that woman who sings is the woman who was doing the concert. Ah, okay. Makes sense now. Kind of forgot about that. I also actually like the fact that we saw that he hesitated to save that guy. Because he kind of didn't like him, right? Gives a much better understanding of his personality. Like, he doesn't like himself for doing that.
What makes it so special?
People are such interesting creatures.
Yep.
So obsessed with rules they let them govern their existence. Teach them how to play the game, and they'll never stray from their instructions. His trust value is 0. Don't bother with him. Finish off that fake, or I'll kill your oaf of a brother.
No, please, just let me see him burn.
Alright, well, I guess that's the truth. It was either this guy or the kid. I actually would have preferred the kid. That would have been an even bigger, you know, fucked up mindfuck situation. Alright, witness is dead.
Breaking news. The Commission has announced that the two E-Souls trust values have merged. This is a clear indication one of the heroes perished in the fight.
Seriously? He killed him? It's gonna be the most... We'll talk about this after.
Enjoying the view? Things look different when you're at the top.
Okay. It was a good episode. Except... Like, I like the reveal and everything, but I think... So you're trying to tell me that... You're trying to tell me that he killed the previous one? It was one thing when they were fighting for, like let's say there's like an esport or something, right? And there's a new addition to an esport team, and one of the team members is like getting old, and they're thinking of replacing the roster with this new guy, and they have kind of a face-off to then see whose skill is better or something like that, right? And then let's say the newbie is better than the old guy, and the old guy gets replaced. It's not like the old guy dies, and the old guy is still gonna have fans, right? Like, straight up, these are heroes. They're both good people who fight for others. And you're trying to tell me that no one fucking cares? That the original E-Soul just fucking died? Brother, like, especially if he's been going for like 37 years or 34 years or whatever, there's no way he doesn't have hardcore fans who really care about him as a person. Like, I don't think anybody would accept that some new quote-unquote hero comes in, usurps his power, and then kills him. What? Last time I checked, if someone comes, calls themselves a hero, and then kills another hero to take their power, that's not a hero. That's a fucking villain. Last time I checked, a guy who kills someone for practically no reason, or rather the reason being a selfish one, which is to take their power. Last time I checked, someone killing a hero to take their power, that's a bad thing. That's straight up a villainous thing to do. You just straight up murdered somebody to take their power. Last time I checked, that's not exactly a heroic thing to do. Like, what? And people are like, yeah, new eSoul. Like, what? Huh? See, this is something that I kind of have to call bullshit on. I don't think people would ever react like this. I never in a million years thought that one of them was going to die. I thought maybe, yeah, he wins the fight and maybe his trust value will skyrocket and whatever, he will take eSoul's power, but then eSoul will maybe take off the mask for the first time and be like, well, it was never about the power. It was about what you do with the power, or whatever the fuck, right? And then maybe, you know, says shit like, well, now you have to carry this burden, or something like that, kind of passing the torch, right? Not that he would kill him. What? That's insane. Like, if I imagined that Superman was real, let's say, right? Even though, you know, I don't like Superman, but like, for a second, let's imagine that I liked Superman, right? And Superman was real in this world. And then Superboy, that's a character, I think, from Young Justice, I think. Maybe it's a character on itself. I don't know. Point is, Superboy challenges Superman to a fight and kills him to take his power. I would be like, hell no. What the fuck? In this case, sure, we don't know who the fuck eSoul was behind the mask, but it's like no one really cares. It's kind of like you watching this right now and listening to me, right? You don't know what I look like in real life. You don't know what I really look like. Even though, you know, this is what I look like. This is me, actually. This is legitimately me, by the way. You know, but realistically, you don't know what I look like. Now imagine if someone killed me, straight up, if someone killed me in real life and took over my model. Would you care? Of course you would be like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Right? That's insane. Even if the person who killed me and took over my model was someone who was popular, it doesn't really matter. People would still be like, dude, what the fuck? You just killed a person to take their power. What? These are not like AI robots that we're talking about here. These are actual real people that are heroes. And one hero straight up just murdered another hero to take their power, and everyone's happy about this? What? Somehow, let's just say from a more realistic point of view, like this, that makes no sense. I'm just saying. But regardless, I suppose we shall see in the next episode what happens. I think they're just probably going to move on from this and not really put any more thought behind this. I feel like this is just kind of like a pretty basic logic error that just kind of cropped up and people didn't notice. Because if you don't really think about it, I feel like this is like, whatever. But if you actually thought about it, you'd be like, dude just murdered someone who was innocent, someone who was a hero, took his power, and everyone's happy about this? What? Huh? But yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you next time in episode 8 of To Be Hero X. Until next time.